right, so we are in Algebra 1. Today's date is Friday, January 10th, 2020. Make sure that your name and date are on your paper. Let's zoom to the correct width. 1, 10, 20. We're talking about a system of inequalities in terms of their graphs objective. Quiet, raise hand. We don't have cards. We're going to go too fast. Jade, yes. There it is, which means you don't need to be responsible for finding out where those lines are. I assume that you know how to do that from a previous unit when we just did linear equations. I just need to make sure you know if it's a dashed or dotted line and shading correctly. That's all I'm looking for. So if the inequality is in this form, what's the name of that form with the quiet raised hand? Wyatt?
Slope-intercept form.
There it is. Slope-intercept form, aka y equals mx plus b form, because m is the slope, b is the y-intercept. If it's in slope-intercept form, then if I have a greater than, or if I have a greater than or equal to, then I will always have the what shaded, top or bottom. And you can kind of tell by the length there, Emma, it is indeed the top. So if it's greater than, shade the top. Only if it's in y equals mx plus b form, which all of the homework tonight will be in. And then if I have a less than or a less than equal to, less than means I'm that direction. What's that direction, Hazi? Bottom. So this is the one that makes sense. If it was in like standard form, you'd have to do a test point or something like that. But it's all going to be slope-intercept form. So here is an example. Here are your two equations. I gave you the dots. You just have to figure out which equation goes with which. I highly recommend just looking at the y-intercepts. So if I look at y is greater than or equal to 3 halves x minus 2, the y-intercept is negative 2. Is it that line or is it that line? Is it the one that has a positive slope, the negative slope? Can someone explain it to me what's going on here? Which line is this first inequality, Esha?
It's probably the one that goes straight to the negative 2 because
Yep. Because
that's a negative slope too.
it's a positive slope because the ball would have to roll up the ramp, yeah. All right, yeah, so go ahead and, oh yeah, I need another quiet raised hand. Is it going to be a solid or a dashed line, and it should be shaded above or below? I highly recommend, yeah, rulers too. Larissa?
It's going to be like regular line.
Regular line, and then is it going to be shaded above or below?
I always get these two mixed up, but I think it's going to be above.
Yes, it is indeed above because this is a greater than. So here is your line, and know ahead of time that you're going to be shading one region way darker than the other. So I'm going to do a very general line that says, okay, I'm going up that direction from this blue line. All right, therefore the other line is these dots right here. I'm going to do that in a different color. I have that technology. You guys are going to have to do something else. Is that going to be a dashed line or a solid line? And then the next question on top of that is, am I shading above or below that line? So quiet raise hand to answer both of those two questions. Solid or dashed, above or below? Kira?
It's dashed and above.
Dashed and above? Careful there. This is a less than symbol.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Dashed and below.
Dashed and below. Perfect. So a dashed line, I'll do that in yellow. A dashed line and below. And that's very important to know. This area, this blue region in the very top and this yellow region in the very bottom, those technically are not the answer to the system of inequalities. The answer is only this left region over here where I have overlap. So if I had my actual pencil, I would make that section way darker and make these other sections on the top blue, the bottom yellow, nice and light. But the very dark area that is the answer should be that left area.
So how are we going to answer this on Khan Academy?
On Khan Academy, it'll be multiple choice. They'll give you 4 graphs, and you have to choose the correct shaded and dashed line and solid line graphs. Question, Wyatt?
You have the same equations for example 2 as you do that.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, teacher error, log it. I need to, so this is supposed to be, change this to a 1 instead of a 3, and a 3 instead of a 2. So it should be 1/3 x. So I can scratch all this out. It should be a 1/3 x minus 2. And then I should totally change this whole equation. I feel so embarrassed. I had it correct. And then it, yeah, okay. It's going to be negative 2/3. So let me just change this whole thing. This is y is less than 2/3 x plus 1. Sorry about that. All right, so those are your new inequalities. Please go ahead and do this one on your own. As soon as you finish, you may begin on Khan Academy. Good luck.